subject is a documentary called A Question of Habit. And the subtitle of it is The Image of Women Religious in American Popular Culture. I got interested in the image of women religious in popular culture 4 or 5 years ago when I started noticing a proliferation of greeting cards. I'm a big greeting card person, and so I would stand in front of the rack at a Hallmark store or in the Walgreens, and I would notice lots of greeting cards with real nuns on them. And invariably, you opened it up, and so they would have these 2 old-fashioned nuns on them, and you would open it up, and it would say, as this one does, "Here's to another year of bad habits." So there was often a joke about habits in there. And there are hundreds and hundreds of these cards. And I thought, well, this is sort of odd because most nuns in the United States haven't looked that way in 40 years. So why is there this interest? Maybe it's just baby boomer nostalgia. But it seemed to be more than that, because then I started noticing this whole line of cocktail napkins, and actually you can get them. You can get cocktail napkins, you can get little dessert trays, you can get cheese spreaders, you can get pot holders, and this is a whole line of faceless nuns with liquor, with drinks on them. So this is Sister Mary Martini. Here is Sister Mary Margarita. Here is Sister Mary Merlot. Here is Sister Mary Manhattan. Then they expanded out to Mother Chaperior. Here is Nun for the Road. And my favorite is Sister Mary Menopause. Now this shocked me when I saw it because it actually hadn't occurred to me until I saw this that of course nuns went through menopause. But, when I was growing up, you didn't think of nuns as having bodies. I mean, and I've talked to many women religious about this, and we all laugh about it, but you weren't sure they ate. I mean, they came into your classroom and taught, and in my case were wonderful, and then they glided across the tarmac back into the convent, and you never saw them again, so they were sort of mysterious, whereas the priests were sort of out there and smoking cigarettes and came over to the house for dinner. Nuns, no. So we really weren't sure that they were fully human. Or you've got, this is Sister Sprung, the boxing nun, right? So, puppet of a nun that boxes. Isn't this funny? Whoops, there she is. She's falling over. Here is a rubber ducky dressed up like a nun. Yes. And this one is called Mother Superior. So, racing nuns. So they have little roller balls on their feet, and you back them up, and they wobble and race against one another. So many of these things have actually obviously nothing to do with nuns, other than, isn't it funny to take whatever you want, bobblehead, cookie jar, pencil sharpener, squeaky toy, and put it in a nun habit. So we know that these stories can be told. We know that there are wonderful stories out of history that have been ignored by American historians, ignored by Catholic historians, and ignored by feminist historians. And yet they are compelling and they are part of our history. So I want to do something that examines the popular culture representation of nuns in its full scope and contrasts it to the possible stories that could be told about these amazing women.